Hello, everybody. Another Media Guide program opening. I ordered about 5 from different programs and media guides, etc., from a seller out in California. And this is the first one, and it's a really thick one. It was so thick I had to cut the board to be able to get it to fit inside the bag with it. It's the 1988 Final Four. We're going to be a little quicker than normal today. And this has the Kansas Jayhawks. This is the Danny Manning miracle run, and this also includes Duke, Arizona, and Oklahoma are the other teams in the Final Four. Again, this is one of those that doesn't really want to lay flat, so we have to do things a little differently. I've been in the middle of on YouTube. I'm going to try to set this up here. Sorry about the picture of my leg, if you don't mind, just to try to help it out a little bit. I've been watching The White Shadow on YouTube, the old 70s, early 80s basketball show, and I believe in this Gatorade ad, that's Wolf Perry, who played at Stanford and then went on to The White Shadow for the final year of the show as Rutherford. This is just some articles on how wonderful the NCAA is. This is the 50th Final Four. So since it was Final Four number 50, there's a lot of articles, etc., from the first handful of. I'll look back at the first 50. Here's an ad from Kansas City from the then Big 8 conference, now the Big 12. Here's Bob Knight playing the potential. Probably yelling at somebody even during the commercial. Let's see. More at this time. I think this may be the last. There had been 9 Final Fours in Kansas City, and at this time, I think this was the last Kansas City Final Four. Just talks about some of the Final Fours. The Division I basketball committee, including the people that decided who was going there. Encore in Seattle. Seattle was going to be the following year's Final Four. I recently bid on the 1984 Final Four program. That was also in Seattle, and I did not win that. This looks back at some voting for the best games, sites, upsets. I still don't think I still would rank the NC State over Houston number 1 over the Villanova Georgetown. And we're talking there's the tradition at Kansas, which was probably perfectly timed because a lot of those type articles are done way in advance. There's then the CBS crew, then commentator Billy Packer. Basketball Hall of Fame, basketball on the radio. Pizza Hut advertising a Final Four tumbler. A couple years later, I think they had the Final Four basketball, which they sold when they were in Denver. I think one of them is still bouncing around my attic somewhere. All-time Final Four players. They would probably need a book of its own for that by now. Well, this will be interesting. The 1988 McDonald's All-American High School team. How many of these guys actually turned out? And Todd Day had a little bit of NBA time. LaFonso Ellis had an okay NBA career, mainly with the Denver Nuggets. Chris Jackson, who would become Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. He went to LSU and bounced around the NBA, but had some really good years with the Denver Nuggets. Sean Kemp, mainly for the Seattle Supersonics. And Christian Laettner, who went to Duke and as the film said, everyone hates. Don McLean, I think he played, I think, again for the Denver Nuggets. How many Denver Nuggets did this team have? Lee Mayberry, I think, played for Milwaukee for a while. Chris Mills bounced around the league, including Cleveland. Alonzo Mourning, impact player for the Charlotte Hornets and Miami Heat. Gerard Mustaf went to the University of Maryland, and he played mainly for the Phoenix Suns and the New York Knicks. Stanley Roberts, Orlando Magic, and LSU. Anthony Peeler, Billy Owens. I think he was with the Golden State Warriors mainly. Pretty much right off the top of my head. You have to remember the part of the gist of this series is leafing through and the spontaneity of what comes to mind as we leaf through. There's the Duke Blue Devils, Danny Ferry, who would be a future Cleveland Cavalier, Billy King, who would be a general manager of a few different NBA teams, head coach Mike Krzyzewski, who's still there at Duke, Quinn Snyder, who's currently the coach of the Utah Jazz. I already mentioned Danny Ferry. Sorry about the glare, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning and we're going strictly with the light from indoors. And this discusses the different teams. Here's Oklahoma head coach Billy Tubbs, who recently passed away. Oklahoma, Mookie Blaylock, a long-time NBA career. Harvey Grant, mainly with the Washington then Bullets. Stacey King of the mainly with the Chicago Bulls. The all-regional teams. I think Tim Perry was a high pick of the Phoenix Suns. Doug West, mainly with Minnesota Timberwolves. Rex Chapman, who is almost better known now for his Twitter feed than for his basketball play with the Charlotte Hornets, among other teams. Danny Manning, who once was the head coach of Wake Forest. Mitch Richmond, who starred with the Warriors and Kings and was actually traded for Billy Owens, who we mentioned a little bit ago. Ramil Robinson, who hit a famous free throw to give Michigan the national title. J.R. Reed, Tom Tolbert, Steve Kerr, the current head coach of the Golden State Warriors. And Sean Elliott, who's, I think, the color man for the, does the color analyst work for I think it's the San Antonio Spurs now. There's Larry Brown, one of my favorite coaches for the Kansas Jayhawks. There's the rosters, scorecards. Here's the Arizona Wildcats, coached by Lute Olson. I think Anthony Cook had a short NBA. Ken Lofton, better known for his baseball performances, mainly with the Cleveland Indians. He seemed like he played for like 12 teams by the time his career was over. Steve Kerr, Tom Tolbert. There's 88 Mazdas. The car's getting a little better looking by then, compared to their 70s cars. And you could always get your gold-plated medallion from the Final Four. Kansas wore red uniforms in that 86 Final Four run, and I always liked those. And I don't remember seeing them after that. That doesn't mean they didn't use them, but I don't remember seeing Kansas wear the red after that. This is all a reflection of each Final Four up to that point. So let's save some time and buzz through these because we could use that time. Normally I would be all for it, but I'm a little shorter on time today for this video, so we're not going to go through details of the various Final Fours. Let me make sure we didn't miss anything because I don't remember seeing the Kansas Jayhawks team in here. There's your reason why this isn't opening right. It has the original, one of those original wonderful cards in it for a college basketball survey where they want to know more about, mainly like 3 questions on basketball and everything else about what you do. Let's see if I can find Kansas because I don't remember looking at their team. Well, there's their names, and I think Danny Manning and maybe Milt Newton. I don't remember any of theirs. There we go. I don't remember any of these guys having NBA careers right offhand. I think Milt Newton might have had a cup of coffee. Perhaps Kevin Pritchard, I remember for some reason. Okay, well, there you go. A very thick, very comprehensive look back at the then 50th anniversary of the Final Four. And we've now tacked on 33 years later, but 32 Final Fours at the end of COVID-19. This was won by the Kansas Jayhawks. They defeated Oklahoma in the finals after Oklahoma defeated Arizona and Kansas defeated Duke in the semis. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Help me out, make me feel a little better about the project in general. Check the blog out at thoughtsofrs.blogspot.com. And we will see you next time with probably another program from this particular order.